Alright. This is probably the correct team for this, or no? I finished the other one. Okay, this is the mutant. This one's fun. Wait, who's the boss here again? Right, Zemo, of course. Um, Toad for Zemo. Hey, Blazy, Aiden, how's it going, guys? Yeah, she was awfully good. I will try Sauron once. You can tell me what I'm doing wrong, Aiden, but I am not excited about this boy. Hey, Phil. Can't wait for war to be over. 3 different people misread assignments. Woof. I'm gonna be extremely careful throwing shade today, though, because I normally like draft my assignments the night before and then finish them the next morning so that we're still getting more time than we used to by about a full workday, but not the full like 44 or whatever. Um, and today or last night, I not even rushed. It felt fine, but I put out the plan without doing one check, and I assigned 3 different champions that were on defense. So that wasn't awesome. Had to fix that, but thankfully there were fixes, and my people are good and called them out, so we should be okay. It was very rude, Kurt. Here we go. Absorbing Man breakdown video when? I put one out when he released, Wayne. That's what the Spotlight with Context is. If you're looking for gameplay and me talking over him, there is mountains of that in my war videos and in other people's war videos. But the breakdown is the Spotlight with Context. Hey, TC. Just picked up Mantis and was listening to your breakdown. Nice. Should I have brought an evade counter? Probably. Is there one that goes great with the node besides just spamming Apocalypse again? Also not really. I promise not to judge Sauron by this one. Sauron can't crit through block, can he? I don't have Emma at a really high rank. I did just ascend the 5-star yesterday for stuff and giggles. Don't have Danny at all at the moment, sadly. Cannot crit through block, but can do his burst through block. Yeah, but that striker definitely crit through block for him just now. That's weird. I'm gonna make a note of that. Strikers in general have been doing that. That was my fear. I'll take a look. Oh, I haven't changed stat focus with Sauron, have I? Hey, easy. Hi, Jackson. Pay at least some attention at school, please. TC, I don't want to skip your question. Thoughts on Icarus? Think he's fairly underrated? I do think he's underrated. I also think he's a bit too limited. Like, there's just a bit too much going on in his rotation. Like, he has access to these various buffs, but it's like you don't even care about most of them because of the incinerates, and therefore using them requires you to go out of your way to access them for the most part. And they're ones that don't really matter all that much. Like, yay, a half decent armor up buff. Like, I don't know, man. I don't care. The protection one is interesting for sure, especially the fact that it's 30 seconds, but like I just don't see much of a use case for it. Because it says single hit, not single source. If it works on things like Harvest, then I see a use case for it, but yeah, same thing with the physical resistance buff. Like, it's a good chunk of physical resistance, but I just don't know that I care, right? And then his SIG is just too niche, honestly. It's a cool SIG, but it's too niche. Better off using light enders with him. Noted. The buff was indefinite until you use another special. Uh, that's spooky in another way. Because, like, whenever we as designers build something like that, there's always X% of players who are going to go, okay, then I'm just not going to use another special, ever. And so now you have to plan in, it's like, oh god, does that cause any weird things? Is it bad that I gave them a permanent buff for this effect? Because, like, obviously you want players to use specials because you want them to keep going through rotations, but sometimes people just don't play along. I think for Spider-Man, I would keep it at crit focus. Well, he has a pretty high crit rate. You could definitely make an argument for special damage with him, just hoping the special 2 kills. Often I find the follow-up is pretty important, so I'm not sure that's where I would land, but I would definitely test it. I guess if you're finding yourself having any trouble critting against people, then I would try crit rate. If you don't do that, I think his crit damage is decently high, but it might be worth seeing if that feels worth it. And then there's also special damage if you feel like you really want to index into the special 2 alone. So then the player doesn't get damage output. Yeah, but sometimes I don't care, TC, because I need the buff to do something. And so now I feel like this fight is stupid because my only option for it was to use Icarus and never use any specials. How dare Kabam do this to me? You kind of see what I'm saying? Players will optimize the fun out of anything, and you have to keep that in mind when you're designing. Because just the fact that there's a drawback isn't always enough. I can see special damage for Spidey Aiden, but again, it's like most of the fights where I really care about him, you're cleaning up after the special 2. And if you're cleaning up after the special 2, you get 0 benefit from the special damage, right? Yeah, what Royu is saying. Yeah, without testing it, I think crit damage is the one that I would land on. People always find ways to complain, but that's not the thing, TC, because like I understand your point is that that's not a great complaint, but I'm not coming at it from a oh no they're complaining, I have to take this seriously because it's a great complaint. My point is oh no they're doing this thing that isn't fun because I left something in the game that made it less fun. That's what you have to think about. Like you can't make people happy all the time, correct. You can't always design around all of the gremlin stuff that people will do, nor necessarily should you. But like you have to think about these things because someone will do them. And you have to, like, as much as you can, think through the consequences of your design decisions. Think Gladiator will go high in Arena? I do not. It seems like a large section of the community has already decided that he is trash, which is very silly. America. Ouch. That was my fault. Let's not. Hey, Shibby. Thanks so much for the super chat. And for the cake love. I'm not gonna hold Chavez being rude against Sauron, but I really was hoping that Special 3 boosted with 5 Furies would be a little bit more impressive. If you're not running Inequity easy, or if your Spidey is low Sig, then I can buy that, yeah. Because again, you have to keep in mind Spidey's taunts. his hit pool or his health pool is much much larger than it looks like when your opponent has 20 taunts on them. Hey Dante, yeah, it is going well. Hey user. No heavy attack fury? That doesn't matter though, Aiden. Like, give me a second to work through that. Because the heavy attack fury, where is this? You get a 50% fury from the heavy attack, right? I had 4 times that in furies from the node. I had a 200% attack rating increase. That was my point. You'd think with the equivalent of 4 heavy attack furies, even at half ramp, the special 3 would have done better. I stand by that disappointment. I like Gladiator, but I'm not a fan of how his first fight BG stuff looks yet. That's fine. Not everybody needs to be incredible in Battlegrounds, and I think he's going to be good, at minimum. This guy. Excuse me. Oh, it's intercept. That's my problem. Ugh. My thumb slipped. Helmut, medium. Not dashback. Medium. Thank you. See, was that so hard? A lot of people saying Adam looks more like the Summoner's Choice character. That's because a lot of people literally cannot evaluate a champion beyond their capacity for big yellow numbers. Gladiator has red numbers, Adam has yellow numbers. For a large section of the community, the story literally stops there. And I know that's me being harsh, but at this point, I just don't care. I'm so tired of it. Hey, Hussein. Yeah, they should be back in an hour. Welcome, Jason. Hey, Chief. I'm definitely getting some Quicksilver flashbacks, TC, yeah. Because remember how he was also too slow for BGs, except for when he wasn't, and then the scoring changed, and now he's great for BGs. We'll see. Seem to lean towards the possibility of Adam being nerfed. I don't really want to speculate too much on it with us this close. But I was mostly coming from the damage there. And having seen Adam in BGs, even before like this last month where the AI felt worse with Intimidate, it seemed like he is nuts, but he does seem to be like appropriately held back by um, you really needing to play well, right? I think he's probably okay there, but we'll see. I'm not convinced of that, Varaxes. And so help me God, if one person says Cosmics are supposed to have poison immunity, they're getting timed out. Cosmics are supposed to have big yellow numbers? Nah, that's crap. I'm sorry. I see that you were joking. Yeah, I'm not really with you on the loses confidence while unstoppable, Aiden. Like, I think that would be too much. I think a big problem with Gladiator is that people are missing how good he is at 20 and not 24 confidence. Like, the dude was built to handle fights fine below his ceiling. Ultra confidence is supposed to be extra because it is supposed to be very difficult to keep up without the special 3 or the ramp. That's simple, right? Like, and I think too many people are going, well, ultra confidence seems really hard to use in battlegrounds, and so I think that's a design flaw. No, that is the intent. I think that's fundamentally a framing problem. I thought Lags had some good points. I've talked to Lags. I don't, honestly. Lags is one of the people saying Cosmics are supposed to have poison immunity. I counted through the Cosmic class yesterday when this came up. Less than 20% of Cosmics have poison immunity, and 3 of them are named Carol Danvers. The only one who isn't directly connected to the Kree is Hyperion. And before somebody says, well, yeah, he's Superman, so he needs to be the most like Gladiator, so are Icarus and Sentry, and neither of them are poison immune. It's not a given. I'm honestly pretty convinced that most of Lag's complaints are that he would like Gladiator to heal permanently with the recoil masteries the same as Herc. And I don't think that's something we have to do. Let me read back a bit. I don't hate that thought, Magnus, about gaining confidence when causing a miss or evade to fail. Not so much on power drain. We've seen how that can get broken very quickly on Adam, so I'm not really sure with you, or I'm not really with you there. But those first two, I'd be interested. Do I think it'd be too much if Kabam makes another mastery point or two available? No. I would definitely use them, and I don't think that I'm anywhere close to broken shenanigans with my masteries. Cosmics are supposed to have a light blue icon next to them. You're right on that. Think he missed that Gladiator kind of has neutralize immunity? Yeah. I just want access to the physical burst beyond retaliate, but cosmic... What? I feel like you maybe mistyped something there, Aiden, or I'm not following you. Galen eats plants but can be poisoned. When will the injustice cease? Yeah. Everyone judges Cosmic Champ's ramp up by the Herc standard, which is stupidly easy. You are correct. That is definitely a big part of what's going on here. Like, people use Null in Battlegrounds once he's at high sig on offense, because the ramp is fast enough. Nobody's getting anywhere close to what he can do in, like, Abyss or something when he has more room. But he still gets used. In my opinion, that's pretty similar to what's going on here. Or sorry, not necessarily similar, but relevant. Seaton had a good take about Gladiator in terms of his damage being steady and consistent rather than bright and flashy. That is absolutely true. It is the same point that I have made a dozen times about Killmonger, right? Because Killmonger also has true damage up all the time. Like, for those of you who weren't watching my channel back in the Killmonger days, MODOK was a very popular boss for a while, right? I took MODOK down with Killmonger without recoil, literally faster in fewer seconds than Karate Mike doing the same fight with Mole Man with recoil. I saw the two videos back to back. But if you ask people who's faster, they will always tell you Mole Man, because all of his damage is concentrated in the payout. He does these giant yellow numbers and all of this bleed damage with unblockable, guaranteed crits right at the end as he closes it out, and it looks amazing. But by the time he does that, Killmonger has done so much just from having true damage active and from the tempo of the fight being overall faster that he came out ahead. Gladiator is in the same territory because it is very easy to hold on to that true damage, and it's very easy to stop your opponent's armor abilities from proccing in the first place. There's more going on there than people are realizing yet. I did see that Adam Warlock Bug Maverick. Yeah, we're looking into that one. I'm pretty sure I know what's going on there. Hey, Titan. Welcome. If I decide who I'm going to send yet? Yeah, probably Carl first. I'm probably just going to go through my kids in order. Hey, Cream Cheese, how's it going? I'm chuckling, TC. Nah, I'm holding myself back from Hercules stuff more and more these days. A lot of you have heard what I have to say. That was bad play by me. Killmonger Renaissance is something I eagerly await as more people get him as a 7-star. Big agree. I'd take him up if I awakened him. Hold on, I may need to check on that. Jeez. Opening up line real quick. I don't know, Mez. I would assume it follows the pattern. That's literally the point, though, Aiden. The whole point is for that to be how the ability works. Like, for you to be able to do the cool stuff from the deep dive and go, haha, I'm unstoppable, you're hitting me, but I'm killing you anyway, you're supposed to buy into that. You're supposed to have boosted your maximum. Before then, you either punish specials or you get it against characters like Void where you can hit in safely during their specials. I don't think that that's a problem. Yeah, easy. I'd buy that. Yeah, Dante, I've said that before. My next one's coming out in November. Hussein, I'm not going to go on a full Herc thing, but just a quick comment there in case you're being a little bit serious. Poison resistance is arguably more dangerous than poison immunity. I think a lot of people miss on that because they go, oh, okay, well, 60% is less than 100. Yeah, but 60% allows you to heal permanently. And then that's something that has to be evaluated in your power budget. It is not a compromise. It is often a boost. That is less true for other types of damage resistances, but for poison specifically, you have to evaluate it in that context or you're lying to yourself. I'm glad you were kidding. Needed to say it because I've seen a whole lot of people say, well, maybe not immunity, maybe just resistance. And it's like, that's not backing off. I don't think. I think there's a lot of misinformation, Amjad, about how anything scales with attack values. Carl's going to scale plenty well. They're both going to get 22% more attack, and therefore they are both going to do 22% more damage. There's really no difference there. Neither of their challenge ratings are going to go up, and so the fact that they scale with crit damage isn't really going to come into play. It's just going to be 22% more damage. Like, a lot of people are, like, really trying too hard to make base attack more complicated than it is. What's the use case scenario for the emboldened passive? Feels too situational. That's definitely arguable. I think that it's still easy enough to build up that you can use that for something like buffet or buffet over time, power snack, that kind of stuff. Um, can't use it for tranquility because that's not an interactable nullify. There are places, but it's definitely supposed to be more of a niche use. That's not factoring too heavily into his power budget. Don't worry. I appreciate that, Zach. Right, Aiden, but you don't necessarily get to make that trade, right? And I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be harsh here, but like because you're not the designer and because you don't speak for the entire community at once, that's not necessarily something that like you get to call. You'd be okay with it being significantly less damage but being up more of the time. That doesn't mean that all of the community agrees with you, and it doesn't mean that that's the designer's vision. What the designer wanted was for this to be something that you had to earn and then was really, really cool, right? They didn't want it to be part of their normal rotation. And so that's why it is the way it is. But then what purpose does it serve, TC? Moondragon ramps off of poison, right? If we give Gladiator a 40% resistance to poison that doesn't apply to Liquid Courage, what has changed about him? You're not going to take Hazard Shift with that. You're not going to take I-Bomb with that. What are you going to... Like, what is the use case? What has improved? And at that point, why bother? We definitely know what percentage of players use them for axes, but that's not really the point. The point is you have to keep it in mind. If we shipped an ability that said you win the fight if you take damage from a poison debuff, it wouldn't matter what percentage of players that applied to on every single fight. What would matter is the fact that it applied to some of them, right? Hey, Cyber, congrats. If we ascend a champ before ranking them, does this affect the final values at all? No. It doesn't affect the final values. Like, obviously, if you ascend to rank 4 in the short term, they'll be weaker than if you ascend to rank 5, but there's no, like, order of operations to it. Yeah, Aiden. It was a comparison, but it wasn't intended to be an exact analogy. It is close to the same, like, impact on Gladiator's kit that light intercepts have on Carl. that doesn't mean that you are entitled to it helping you in every single fight the same way, right? Like, I wasn't trying to say this is also how accessible it should be, and this is exactly what the payoff should be. Like, different designers are allowed and encouraged to differentiate a bit more than that. But why, Larson? A ton of powerful characters have no dot immunities. Like, I've seen so many people say, well, you know, Gladiator needs to be as strong as Gallon because Gallon is really good and, you know, they have to compare. Okay, does Gallon have any dot immunities? No? Then why is that part of the equation with Gladiator? I mean, for that matter, Hercules doesn't even have any immunities. He just pops off with recoil. No, John, I don't know where you saw that, but there's no order of operations. No clue what relic to put on Vox. Um, Probably Thor. Yeah, because you get indefinite furies and armors if you're willing to get hit. And so you can get access to the big intensify that way. That's what I would do. Yeah, pretty much, Aiden. Like it's important for these kinds of things. Like don't don't hold people to like, oh, they made a comparison, therefore this is exactly what they mean, and the rest of the rules have to match that, right? Man, the amount of time Blade went moving without actually dashing forward was really starting to annoy me. Oh, I haven't knocked him down and gone unblockable yet. What the heck am I doing? Okay, come on, buddy. Sauron has immunities, therefore he's better than Gladiator. Better than Hurt, too. Come on, haven't you been paying attention? Um, yeah, I get that, Praxis. I have no idea who you're talking about, Amjad. Are you still talking about Kate? Because if you're using Kate for Mangog on 54, you're... Okay. Yeah, okay. Photon makes more sense. Yes, she is supposed to scale with inequity. I don't agree with you, Pi. That's fine. Here comes that long heal block. I don't know why I'm not just hitting her. Oh, right, because I wanted the cruelties, but it's not the end of the world. God, Laura has no reach. Shouldn't have done that either. Okay. There we go. Tried to be too fancy for too long there. Oh, Larson, you missed my comment earlier. No, poison immunity is not fairly common in the Cosmic class. Less than 20% of Cosmics are immune to poison. 3 of them are Carol Danvers, and only 2 more have resistance. That's not fairly common. That's just everybody thinking of the Inhumans and the Kree and going, "Oh yeah, it's a given, right?" No. I'm not sure on the matchmaking maintenance cool comms. I actually didn't know when that was going in the first place. What I'm hearing is we need a 4th Carol Danvers. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but Aiden, you know what they meant. Just because some of those champions have ways to deal with debuffs doesn't mean that all of them do. And, like, the point was very valid. There are plenty of incredible characters in this game with no answer to dots. And that's necessary, right? Because otherwise damaging effects aren't a threat. It's not something that we should put on everyone. Yeah, John, and I get you. And my response, as I've said, is the invulnerability with confidence is expressed in the kit by an over 50% armor as he ramps, and the ability to reduce damage by 80% at ultra confidence. And there have been some comments on how like some of the specifics around ultra confidence could be changed. I'm open to that. But like I do think that durability, excuse me, is well expressed in the kit. I have no idea, Mez. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard enough that I'm sure that's accurate. These mediums are so annoying. Feels like they cut through everything. Dude. Yeah, I have seen the Scorpion pre-fight thing get reported. Yeah, there's definitely more poison immunity in science. I don't know how much that would have been better, Dark Flame. Gladiator shouldn't have been compared to Hercules, but White Tiger also shouldn't have been compared to Tigra. People are going to be like this either way. I do think Gladiator is okay the way he is. Yes. There are some suggestions I've seen that I think have more merit than others. And if come the rebalancing window it looks like he needs something, then he'll get it, because that's the point of it. But I also won't be shocked if his data just doesn't show a need. Because I think the community is not really being objective here. Excuse me, sir, do you mind? Thank you. Eh. I get your point, Aiden, but like that's literally nickel and diming. If the argument has validity, then sure, you can workshop it. You can ask people to be more accurate about it going forward, but like when they're talking to you, you get the argument. You can say, I get what you mean, right? Because you know they're right. And you know that the exceptions you're pointing out don't mean that they're not right. And so I think it's fair to say that. Probably more bleed immune in the mutant class than poison immune in the cosmic. I haven't done that either, but especially when you take into account bleed. Like, there are a ton of champions with 90 or more bleed resistance as well, which is also different territory than 40 or 50. Mysterious Helmet is not considered an armor up. No. I don't think it's ever been referred to as an armor effect. How dare you not let me rage and dispute my statement with facts? That's what I'm here for, peeps. 7-star Eye Hulk would be intense, yeah. Whoops. I was looking at the OBS screen again instead of the in-game screen. Don't do that. Which Kabam employee made Gladiator? Their Kabam name is Kabam Eclipse, same one as Danny and Sandman. They talked about it on the last live stream, if you're curious. Hey, OIC. I think the Iron Man buff is solid. Hey, Faust. Yeah, I'm doing good. You as well. I think some people were expecting Nimrod, and he's not that, but I do think he's quite good. I think the damage is really solid and flexible. I think he's very tanky. He's sustainable. And he has some really, really great target matchups where he pops off. Yeah, TC is right. There is a reason that rebalance is not done immediately. Yeah, you're right, John. Like, I get it. I get why this is happening with Summoner's Choice. It's just important to remember that, like, the community is no more entitled to make actual decisions about a kit. with Summoner's Choice than they are any other time of the year. You're getting annoying, Helmet. Here we go. I'd say he's Nimrod adjacent. I would agree with that, yeah. I know, Aiden. But, like, in a chat room, generally not the place to pick those things apart, in my opinion. At least not without the caveat, right? Like, that's really what I would ask. If you're going to, and I'm not trying to use nitpick dismissively, because I've done it before too, but if you're going to nitpick, then just let the other person know that you get where they're coming from, right? I think that's the important part. Eh. Under players' expectations is like the least convincing complaint of all time, Wally. I swear, every time something new comes out, it doesn't matter how good it is. There are always people going, meh, mid. Like, how many people called Silk mid, right? How many people are still saying that Vox doesn't do enough damage? I got comments on Absorbing Man's or his Spotlight when he first came out that said that doesn't look worth it, right? The community's expectations are not a good metric. They just aren't. Yeah, I get it, John. I get why the community is not objective, and I'm not going to hold it against anyone. It's just, if I don't trust the community in a normal month to be objective about expectations, I'm definitely not giving them more weight this month. I think that puts us pretty much on the same page. MSD loves Buff Tony. Yeah, you spent more time with him than I have. He's definitely fun. Am I going to do a champion spotlight on Iron Man? Yes, I am planning to. I've been kind of busy lately, but with season winding down, we should be okay there. Cool. Just double checking on our battle group. I think I should probably call it here, though. I've got some work to do today. Let me catch up on chat, though. What's the difference between poison and paralytic poison? Not a lot. Paralytic poisons are poisons. That's just letting you know that this is specifically toads, and so it's part of an extra ecosystem, right? Like, they still count as poison debuffs. Anything that's listening for poisons will trigger off of them. They still reduce healing by 30%. It's still exponential the same way that poison is, as opposed to something like petrify. But it also feeds into this other ecosystem. They are automatically purified by dashing. They they turn into passives against skill champions, and the paralytic part, they add up to the stuns, right, at max. That's really all that's doing, is telling you this is part of something else. It's the same thing with like nano ant armor ups on future Ant-Man, where they are armor ups in every sense, but they also play into the kit in more ways than normal, is the idea. Yeah, Toad is really good, Faust. You caught the good run. The previous one, I left the protection up for too long, and he didn't look all that great. Did Emma Frost always have 2,500% or plus crit resistant diamond form? I don't remember it being quite that high. I certainly do. I think a lot of people just used like Ghost for long enough that it didn't matter, but yeah, she's tanky. Appreciate it, Aiden. Prefer Gladiator to Quicksilver. He's got a simple loop with constantly solid damage, widely applicable playstyle, plenty of space for fun skill expression. I buy that. Yeah, and obligatory, you can't judge a champion entirely by a single Battlegrounds meta, but Iron Man is going to be nuts on Wednesday. I've already answered this, Viraj. It's a terrible idea. And I'm not gonna tiptoe around that anymore. How many people said... Oh, wait, where did that go? Ooh, there was more chat than I thought. How many people said Adam needed a buff for Kate or Zemo? Yeah. I saw people calling Adam mid until the comparison with Gladiator. Yup. Goes to prove the community will complain about things right up until the second that they have to compliment something to complain about something else. Oh. I mean, it's gone down over time, Faust, which I do appreciate. I'm clearly building a certain amount of trust. But I did get some comments that Photon's damage wasn't high enough on offense, right? I think my war videos prove that that's nonsense, but it does still happen. Faust, I do think a lot of people knew intellectually they weren't getting Herc 2.0, but I think the comparisons are still there internally. How highly does access to unblockable rank? It's definitely a thing, right? Like the fact that Gladiator has that unblockable does factor into his kit. The same way that chaining into heavies factors into his kit. Like both of those are real pieces of utility. I am mildly intimidated by expectations, Wally, but yes. Actually, when I close down the stream, I'm going to go and make like one last change to my next character, but they are otherwise kit locked in the tuning phase. I'm pretty happy with them. Join stream, sees Toad. Hey Meta, how are you doing, man? I appreciate you. And APOC is a noodle, correct. Oh. Should I rank up my 9-star Gladiator? If you had a 9-star Gladiator, I'd certainly rank him up. 1,200 ISO bricks later. He's not yet at max. Just descended my 5-star Photon? Nice. That's a very fair choice. I got scared when I saw the persistent charge, the deep dive, till Mike explained it. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Only buff I ever wanted for Adam was his Intimidate, but that was me not understanding how Intimidate functions. Yeah, you are not even close to the only person who's made that mistake. So to clarify for the chat, since we have a pretty big group in here at the moment, Intimidate's AI manipulation does not scale with its potency. That is always the same value. The potency of Intimidate is purely the block proficiency reduction. So it is the same across different champions. It's just very clearly kind of borked right now. Misty has access to unblockable, still don't see enough people using her. Yeah, and honestly, that's like one of the best parts about Misty is that once she gets up there, it's just boom, unblockable all the time. She could probably use one or two more things, but like that part of her is definitely one of the good ones. Thank God Photon's damage isn't high enough. That's hilarious easy. Do I have to go to work? Technically, my first meeting is until 12:30. I can do one more path. What is this one? I'm having fun with y'all, and there are a lot of you. Oh, yeah, the penny fight. That's right. Thanks, Maverick. This is a good group. You... Hold on, Tex. I need to get better with Viv. That's a real point of focus for me at the moment. There's my boy. He's having trouble finding him. Is Misty worth ranking and playing? It kind of depends on where your skill class is. I would say not for a lot of people, but I think she's good. She's just not great, right? And we now have a lot of great skill champs. I think if rebalancing had been live for her, she would have been tuned up in a few ways. But yeah, it's a tricky one, right? Because you just have to. It's all about opportunity cost. Yeah, Twifts. That's a known thing. You'll have to re-explore it, but there probably will be some energy later in the month, something along those lines. Just didn't know that till now. Glad I said it out loud then, Braxis. Took her to Sig 200 this weekend. Nice, Dot. I'm glad you're enjoying her. Hey, Tyler. Like Adam because he has a hectic playstyle but a great payoff. Yeah, that's accurate. So is this considered work for you? Not directly. It's definitely work adjacent. Last time I told you the class, that was much closer to it. I ain't doing that right now. We're going to have a lot of fun with the November champions. I'll wait on people. Hey, Havoc. I do agree. I think that Misty would do really well as a 7-star. Oops, needed to do the medium first. Alright, I need to pay a little bit more attention. There we go. Yeah, I do and Sherry are both great here. Yeah, meta. I loved your Misty versus Penny fights. I'm always too early on the first one. I just need to calm down. Oh, she doesn't have a striker. Man, that's gonna feel so good after the buff. Alright, come on, buddy. Throw it. Thank you. Only one. I should have paid off when I wasn't ramp. Oh, that's hilarious. If I had to use a skill champ against Photon, who would be my go-to? I mean, assuming we're not talking the boss node, because that's messing with most skill champions. If we are talking the current boss node, it would be Crossbones. Over Kingpin, even if he's not banned. I would almost never use Kingpin against Photon if I could avoid it, honestly. My preference on that one is that I would use Mantis first if the node allowed it, and then probably Falcon second. And I personally am comfortable with the Kate matchup in a lot of places, but I know a lot of people aren't. Yeah, Mysterio's been fun. Nice, Meta. That sounds fun. No worries, Faust. I did see your comment, but that's okay. Hey, Vega, how's it going? What does Viv's buff include? Simula had some really good stuff on her. 1 second. Yeah, I really don't need to worry about max ramp on this one. But yeah, Sim has some really good content on her if you want the full details. But some of the big stuff is that she's going to be a better domino counter overall. She's going to be stun immune during phase, I think. I believe that made it in. Her energy vulnerabilities are going to be passive. That's one of the biggest things, so that she's going to be less vulnerable to shruggers. Her special 2 is going to do more damage on each burst, which actually really helps her build. Oh, this is going to be annoying as sin. But yeah, that's kind of the big stuff. If I ever hit the lotto, I'll be back. I hear that, man. Ouch. I thought that was a parry. Ronan is about to be the most underrated 7-star. He's certainly going to be in the running. Zemo's what I like sending. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Zemo versus Photon. It definitely works. Oops, I forgot to... Oh, I forgot to crit. Alright. There we go. New incursion rewards are nice. Oh, I haven't looked at the artifacts. Let's do that before I sign off. It's a good place to put it. Thanks, Faust. Take care. I'll be right behind you soon. Yeah, Penny is insane on this node. It's so much fun. You know, I probably have enough regen in this fight that I really do not need to worry about the node. Viv is great. I just need to keep getting better with her. I don't have Shuri above a rank 3 Bleezy, which I realize is also where my Viv is. But I don't know. I want her as a 7-star so badly. It just makes me sad to play her. Yeah, John, I'm glad to hear that. It's been a fun Alliance event for me, too. Went to rank 5 my Kate on alt, but was only level 52. Got us. Yeah, I remember doing that on my alt as well. Not fun. Alright, let's take a look at incursions. Yeah, that's pretty. Maybe I will do another Zone 25 run. Oh, Angela! Alright. Yeah, the artifacts are better. So artifacts only up to Zone 20. Definitely going to be doing that. I haven't done the total. I don't know if anybody else has. Yeah, I'll be doing all of those. Alright, look forward to some incursion streams in the near future. 245k-ish? Well, that is wonderful news for my 268. Thanks, MSD. Yeah, I will definitely be streaming that soon. I'm taking a quick scan through chat. I don't fully understand the side event yet, True Potential, so I'm going to decline to answer that one. Is it one dash back for the second hit of Iron Man Special 2? Yes. Venom Pool will come along. He's very, very good. Plus 3,200 7-star shards. That's pretty. All right. I'm going to run off to work then. Take care, everybody. Thanks for a stream, or for a great stream. This one was fun. Max viewers was, of course, 69. I think it's been a while since I've been there. All right. Later, all. Take care.